going to start with some Bobbi Brown foundation. Now, although this is in a palette, and you've seen me use this before, the foundation is actually the foundation stick. It's just put into a palette so that makeup artists can find it easier to carry around. So, what's wonderful about these is that you can mix and match your own colour. Now, I'm pretty pale anyway, but Sophie Ellis Bextor is really pale, easily as pale as me. So I'm going to make myself a little bit more alabaster. And I'm putting that on with a foundation brush. This one is it's a Louise Young foundation brush, so you can get those at www.louiseyoungcosmetics.com or .co.uk. I would try .com, I think it's .com. And they're really reasonably priced. Last week you may have seen me use the rounded Louise Young brush. This one is flat, you can see that from the profile. Beautiful brush though, and not too expensive. Make sure you get rid of any lines caused by foundation brush, or if you want to, you can always just use your fingers to smooth that in. And make sure that you blend under the jawline so we've got no lines there at all. So you're really creating a blank canvas to work on. I know you've heard that a million times, but you can see it makes such difference. It takes all the uneven skin tone out. Okay, and especially when you're using these bright colours, because these bright colours can really pick up any little tiny tones in your skin and magnify them. Really good to start with a nice, evenly toned base. So now I am using this is called Paintstick by MAC. Hello, there you go. It's called Paintstick by MAC. I'm using it in a bright sky blue colour. Isn't that beautiful? Now these are a bit like grease paints and they won't set. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a really small amount on our finger. You can tap it onto the back of your hand to make sure you don't put too much on, and then you're just gonna, with your finger, see how easy this is? With your finger, just put it all over your lid and blend it in, because this is going to be our base. And if you need to apply more, just put a tiny bit more on. The bulk of the colour I put on the lid, and with my other finger I'll just smooth in and blend that colour upwards. So I'm not going to put this blue all the way up to the eyebrow. I'm going to put the eyebrow, I'm going to put the blue on the lid and then blend it towards the eyebrow with my other finger. That way you don't get too much product on. Can you see where we're going with that? So already we've got quite a nice strong blue on there. We're now really going to intensify that blue by using, I have here a 239 brush from MAC Pro Sky Blue. And what we're going to do is we're going to push that colour on top of the paint stick. So remember, we're really pressing it on. And again, we're only going up to that socket, and we'll blend it over the socket line. Make sure you cover the whole of that area, so you get a nice even finish. So if you ever have an eyeshadow and you feel that you're not getting... So if you ever go into a store, buy a nice bright eyeshadow, get it home, put it on, and think that doesn't look how it looked in the store, it doesn't look how it looks in the packaging, it could be because you need to put a primer on underneath. You see, you can really intensify the colour of a bright eyeshadow if you use a cream base underneath. MAC make a primer, Laura Mercier make a primer. I have an Urban Decay primer here, it's called Eyeshadow Primer Potion, and that you just put on with your finger and then leave it for a second and then push your eyeshadow on top of that, and it will give your eyeshadow something to stick to. So we actually used the MAC base, didn't we, as our primer, because we wanted to really intensify the blue. This is a Technicolor eyeliner from MAC in the colour Smooth Blue. You might have to go over that a few times until you get the real density of colour that you need for this one. This is a white one by MAC, it's called Fascinating. And this, I'm just putting, can you see that? I'm just putting this on the waterline. Again with the MAC blue eyeliner, I'm going to take this along the top lid . Right, now we're going to blend that blue eyeshadow. 217 brush from MAC, and then we're working that in the crease. There's absolutely no need to take this brush across the whole lid. The whole lid should be even if you've put your eyeshadow on properly with the 239. So all we're doing is blending this top line to make sure that there's no unsightly sort of start and stop lines there. And then plenty of mascara. Now we haven't got any concealer on yet, so while we're waiting for those lashes to dry, let's just pop a little bit of concealer on. You know by now I like my little 224 brush for putting my concealer on. So clean up under the eye. Remember to get right in this corner here where your flick is. So you're giving it a little bit of a helping hand to lift upwards. Don't go crazy, we don't want big spidery lashes down there. So I'm just using a little spoolie brush just to brush them through. See that colour? It's almost my skin colour. That's Bisque, and it's a MAC one. Duh.